Welcome to the top 10 longest iframe skills in MapleStory. So there are many different classes in the game as of current, and one of the most desirable skills in a class is indeed an iframe. An iframe is an invincibility time frame where the class is invulnerable to all attacks and all boss mechanics, and here are the top 10 longest iframe skills in duration in MapleStory. Starting off the list at number 10, we have a 4-way tie between 4 different classes, 4 different iframes. I'll put the worst one first and then the best one for last. So the first one is Kadena. The Kadena is a 10-second iframe, but unfortunately it's part of their burst and their bind, so it's all in one package. So you can't really iframe whenever you want to. You usually just use this iframe for your burst as well. Also, the invincibility iframe is 10 seconds only if the boss is stunned. If it isn't bound, then it will just be a 5-second iframe. The next iframe we have at number 10 for 10 seconds is Evan, Dragon Master. So Dragon Master has a pretty long cooldown of 240 seconds, which is probably longer than all the other iframes in number 10, but you can actually move and attack with it, so that's really nice. And it's an on-command iframe, which you can use whenever you want, and it's not really part of your burst, so not bad. Continuing on with number 10, we have Abyssal Recall of Arc, 10 seconds as well, 200-second cooldown, so it's actually shorter than the Dragon Master by 40 seconds. But it's not part of your binds, which is really nice, so you don't have to rely on this just to iframe and part of your burst, right? It is part of your burst because it does do a lot of damage, but it is also not too reliant like Kadena because it also has other iframes built into the class. Continuing on with the last number 10, the best one I would say, is Ilium, the Crystalline Bulwark. So this one, if you have max stacks of the crystal stacks at stack 10, the iframe becomes 10 seconds long and your entire party has this entire iframe for 10 seconds, which is huge because you can ignore the boss mechanics for 10 seconds for the entire party, right? There's actually no other class in the game that does this besides Paladin, but Paladin only can give that iframe to one other person with half the duration, while Ilium is just in the entire party, so it's actually crazy. At number 9, we have Wild Hunter, Primal Fury, 11 seconds long at max level. Really nice iframe. You just pop it and it's just there and you can just still attack. It's a really great iframe. It might as well be like a Genesis iframe, right? But it's just a in-class iframe. It's really nice. Nothing else special to say about it. So I realized I made a mistake while editing this video because I thought a Xenon iframe was 6 seconds, but it's actually 11 seconds after you charge up the laser, which means it's 11 seconds. That means it shares the spot at number 9 with Wild Hunter. Technically it should be lower than Wild Hunter because it requires a charge, so it's not as good as Wild Hunter. It's on command, Primal Fury iframe, right? At number 8, we have Archmage Ice Lightning Freezing Breath. So this is a very long iframe, 13 seconds long. However, it's only an iframe if you hold down the skill, and it's also part of your bind. But thankfully, we have Nova now, so it's not you don't have to rely on Freezing Breath. But Freezing Breath does have a longer bind timer than most other binds, as well as it gives IED, so it's really nice. At number 7, we have Marksman, Perfect Shot. So this is a 12-second iframe where you can aim for 12 seconds, then after you shoot the last arrow, then you get a 2-second iframe after for a total of 14 seconds. At number 6, we have Beast Tamer, Team Roar. It gives itself a 15-second iframe plus 30% damage for the entire party, which is a really good support skill. At number 5, I put 0, Time Holding. It's also a 15-second iframe, but I mainly put it here because there's more zeros than BTs. But Time Holding resets all the cooldowns to 0 as well, and it gives extra damage if your 0 is above 200. Mine's not, but soon, right? But that's really a good skill, resetting cooldowns and iframes. At number 4, we have Holyoke with its Sage Dream of Shangri-La. So this is a 20-second iframe at max. If you hold down the skill, you can't really attack while you're in iframe, but it's a really long iframe. As well as you get refunded the cooldown if you use the iframe for a less amount of time. You get like 9 seconds back per 1 second you didn't use the iframe for, so that's really good for Holyoke. At number 3, I have Paladins, Sacrosanctity, or Phantoms, because they can steal it. So this is a 30-second iframe on a 10-minute cooldown, which is a pretty long cooldown, but you can freely attack with this iframe, and it's really long, so that's really nice. Sacrosanctity on Paladin specifically can be given to another party member for half the duration, I believe. At number 2, I have Freuds Wisdom by all the Maple heroes, and no, not the Explorer hero, unfortunately. But we have the full Maples characters: Mercedes, Aaron, Phantom, Luminous, Evan, and Shade. They all have Freuds Wisdom as their common skill, and it takes a really long time to actually charge up Freud, so it's kind of annoying of the timing of it, so you have to time perfectly for it in a boss fight to make it full use of it. But at the max stack, at stack 6, it is a 30-second iframe, which you can freely do whatever you want, so it's a really nice iframe to have. At number 1, that beats every single iframe in the game in duration, is indeed the Dark Knight Final Pack. So Dark Knight's Final Pack, there's 3 different modes. You can pick a small pack, medium pack, or a big pack. And the big pack gives you a 40-second iframe, which triggers when you die to damage, or to like a fatal attack, as what they say. So once your HP like reaches 0, you don't die. Instead, you go into final pack, which means you're invincible for 40 seconds if you pick the large one. And you have a certain amount of time to attack the boss or kill a certain number of mobs to actually reduce the cooldown. And yeah, that's the list of the top 10 longest iframe skills in MapleStory. If I did miss any long iframes, let me know down in the comments. But there's also a couple of honorable mentions I want to mention, because they seem like long iframes, but technically they didn't make it into the list. So I have Demon Slayer's Demon Bane, that's only 8 seconds. Shade Spirit Incarnation, it's only 8 seconds. Kinesis Mental Tempest is only 7 seconds. So those seem long, but they are shorter than the 10 seconds on the top 10. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.